This video honors the homeland's brave son, the people's defender, who for 11 years crushed enemy commanders and forces, never surrendering, exhausting and astounding the enemy. Despite facing opposition, betrayal and desperation, even when isolated on the battlefield, he fought for his homeland's freedom, his people's future, and the destiny of all Muslim nations. It is dedicated to the memory of Sultan Jalaluddin, who fought the enemy until his last breath and died a hero's death. Peace be upon you, dear contemporaries. Future generations have the right to know all the atrocities, injustices, and mistakes of history. We hope each of us will draw the right conclusions from history's lessons as we present these untold historical accounts today. Please watch and see. In 1220, Khwarezm Shah Alavuddin Muhammad II declared his son Jalal ad-Din Manguberdi as Khwarezm Shah. After his death, Sultan Jalaluddin immediately rushed to defend the homeland, reaching the ancient Urgench in March 1220. Unfortunately, he didn't stay there long. Why, you ask? Because Sultan Jalal ad-Din learned that his half-brothers had conspired against him for the throne. For this reason, Sultan Jalal ad-Din convinced Temur Malik, one of Khwarezm's powerful commanders, to come with him. At midnight, with only 300 warriors, they set out for the city of Nisa in the area of present-day Ashgabat, the capital of Turkmenistan. Near their destination, they encountered Genghis Khan's 1,000-strong force that was roaming the country searching for Jalal ad-Din. A fierce battle broke out, and Sultan Jalal ad-Din with his 300 warriors hid behind a hill, then attacked the enemy from behind and destroyed them. Remember this victory. This was Jalaluddin's first victory over the Mongols. After that, Jalaluddin traveled from city to city throughout the country, standing in front of markets and mosques, calling out, "Who will protect his mother? Who will protect his wife? Who will protect their daughters? Those who will defend their homeland and families, join us," he proclaimed, gathering an army. Some commanders who heard these calls and provincial governors came and joined Jalaluddin. According to some historical sources, he managed to gather nearly 70,000 troops. Volunteers from Bamiyan, Valion and Ghazna provinces filled their ranks. Upon hearing this news, Genghis Khan focused his main forces on Talikan, summoned all his sons and his 12 renowned commanders, and in a military council ordered Jalaluddin's capture before he could grow stronger, and sent his army to Bamiyan. Sultan Jalal ad-Din once again set an ambush, launching a surprise attack on Genghis Khan's forces and putting them all to the sword. He then went on to destroy Genghis Khan's army in Valiani and later his forces in Ghazna as well. Sultan Jalal ad-Din headed toward Parwan province in Afghanistan to increase his army. After these events, Genghis Khan was consumed with rage. Genghis Khan summoned his invincible commander Shiki Hutuhu, who had shown unmatched heroism in conquering China, gave him 60,000 of his finest warriors and ordered him to bring Jalal ad-Din back alive in a cage. If he succeeded in this mission, he promised him unimaginable wealth. By this time, Sultan Jalal ad-Din had no more than 45,000 fighters. That's all that remained. Knowing this and full of confidence, Shiki Hutuhu launched a fierce attack against Sultan Jalal ad-Din in June 1221, thundering across the land and shaking the earth like a storm. This battle raged for 3 days, so terrible that all previous battles seemed like mere skirmishes in comparison. Notably, in this battle, Sultan Jalal ad-Din pioneered the art of infantry fighting against cavalry for the first time in history. Unprecedented bloodshed occurred in this battle. Sultan Jalal ad-Din outflanked the army and launched another attack, forcing the Mongols' invincible commander to taste the bitterness of defeat. Genghis Khan's trusted chief commander Shiki Hutuhu shamefully fled the battlefield. According to Mongol tradition at that time, a chief commander was only entitled to return alive as a victor. Breaking this tradition, Shiki Hutuhu threw himself at Genghis Khan's feet and immediately began to speak. The reason I returned alive is Jalal ad-Din. He had to explain his battle strategy, otherwise, no matter how many warriors there were, Jalal ad-Din couldn't be defeated. So he advised gathering all available fighters in one place and attacking Jalal ad-Din with a massive army. Following this advice, Genghis Khan spent a month and a half gathering all his warriors to his camp. Meanwhile, Sultan Jalal ad-Din was approaching the Indus River trying to expand his army's ranks. Upon receiving this news, Genghis Khan reached the riverbank with his army and surrounded Sultan Jalal ad-Din from three sides. Remember this date, November 28, 1221, at 5 o'clock in the morning, Genghis Khan launched a fierce attack against Sultan Jalal ad-Din. This was the most brutal, horrific and unjust battle in history. Because Genghis Khan's army in terms of numbers compared to Sultan Jalal ad-Din's forces, pay attention, was 10 times larger, so by Genghis Khan's calculations the battle shouldn't have lasted more than half a day. The confident Genghis Khan roared to capture him alive, wanting to make XVAYREZM Shah kneel before him and inscribe in golden letters his encounter with Sultan Jalal ad-Din in history's pages. But the battle lasted not half a day, but 3 full days. On the third day of battle, Genghis Khan, consumed by rage, summoned all his sons and shouted, "There are 4 of you, yet you cannot bring me XVAYREZM Shah's one son, even with such a vast army. Look, the entire battlefield is filled with our fallen warriors." Because Jalal ad-Din's extraordinary actions worthy of eternal remembrance and his heroism were nullifying all the efforts of Genghis Khan's army in battle. But by the afternoon of the third day, the enormous difference in troop numbers began to tell. Jalal ad-Din's warriors dwindled hour by hour, casualties mounting. The enemy's forces were growing stronger in battle. Sultan Jalaluddin's mother, Lady Oichachak, asked that her son be summoned to her side. When Jalaluddin arrived, he looked as though he had been bathed in blood. Seeing this, his mother spoke without thinking. "I thought I had given birth to just one son. But watching these 3 days of battle, I realized I didn't give birth to a poet. I gave birth to a lion among lions. My child, the enemy outnumbers us greatly. I have one request, so that I may not fall into enemy hands and lose my honor, but instead join your father with dignity. Wrap me, your wife, your children, all of us in your robes and cast us into the river. Only then will I be at peace with the life I gave you." And so, to fulfill his mother's final wish, Sultan Jalal ad-Din cast his 7-year-old son, 3-year-old daughter, his wife and his mother into the water. Their loyalty to homeland values and honor forced them to choose this path. After this event, Sultan Jalal ad-Din, whose courage knew no bounds, felt his thirst for vengeance and anguish burn even stronger. He rode straight for Genghis Khan's camp. This was an act of indescribable heroism. Knowing that Genghis Khan's camp was protected by 10,000 elite guards, he broke through the defenses, lassoed Genghis Khan by the neck, and tried to drag him away on horseback. Seeing this, Genghis Khan, without thinking, ordered not to capture him alive, but to kill him. Alas, the lasso didn't reach its mark. The guards surrounded Sultan Jalal ad-Din, but Jalal ad-Din split through the encirclement with his iron shield. His remaining warriors followed behind him. This is what historians of that time wrote about this event. Genghis Khan came within a hair's breadth of death. Sultan Jalal ad-Din barely had enough time. Never before had death come so close to Genghis Khan. And so Sultan Jalal ad-Din and his small band of warriors ride toward the raging river, and seeing them crossing, Genghis Khan orders his archers to open fire. In this way, the river ran red with blood instead of water. According to some sources, Genghis Khan ordered his men not to shoot Sultan Jalal ad-Din. But this is hard to believe, because by this point Genghis Khan would have paid any price to capture Jalal ad-Din, even dead. Watching Sultan Jalal ad-Din cross the river, Genghis Khan looked to the heavens and said he moved like a lion on land and like a fish in water. If I had one son like this instead of these 4 sons, I would have ruled the entire world. How fortunate is the father of such a son. This Jalaluddin will bring great suffering upon us. As a reminder, let me mention this. Genghis Khan always prayed to the heavens. At that moment, the river waves against fate had washed Sultan Jalaluddin's 7-year-old son ashore toward Genghis Khan. Now Genghis Khan committed a brutality never before seen in history. How, you ask? Listen, they took the boy to a high place so Jalaluddin could watch. The innocent child, who had barely seen 7 springs, had a sword thrust through his chest, and the executioners were ordered to open the child's chest. The executioners cracked open the child's chest. Then Genghis Khan reached in, pulled out the beating heart, and called his bloodthirsty savage dog named Golden Bark, a heart that kept beating even in Genghis Khan's hand. He throws it to the dog, but instead of eating the heart, the dog grabs it in its mouth, goes to the tree and buries it carefully. Even the animal tries to hide from Genghis Khan in fear of his cruelty. This is barbarism. This is invasion. Seeing his helpless people so humiliated, the desperate Sultan Jalal ad-Din tries several times to throw himself into the water to cross toward Genghis Khan. But the remaining warriors say, "You must live. Who will protect us, our people, our homeland, if not you? Why did we make all these efforts and sacrifices? You have no right to die for this reason," and they refused to let Sultan Jalal ad-Din go. Historians wrote that Sultan Jalal ad-Din's inner turmoil in this moment could not be expressed in words. They say that even now in those areas, sounds of weeping can still be heard from time to time. We conclude our video by noting that Sultan Jalal ad-Din, realizing he had no right to die for the freedom of his homeland, swore an oath to fight the Mongols until his last drop of blood. Stay with us.